All right, I want to start by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekahakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone. Salutations to the elect out there. All right, I want to do a quick lesson going into the chariots of the Lord, which is also known as clouds and a whirlwind in the Bible. So I'm going to start with this scripture right here. This is in Psalms. Let me back up some. This is Psalms 104, verse, 3. Psalms 104, verse 3. And it says, who laid the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. You see, and the Lord maketh the clouds his chariots, not the clouds up there that you can pass right through, but the chariots, they can look like clouds. You know how clouds will move across the sky slowly. Chariots, they do the same thing, and they can also go at hypersonic speed, even faster. They defy the laws of physics. You see, the chariots, they can just stop suddenly, and then they can just go. They can turn around easy. You see. All right, let me get another scripture. All right, here's an example of Elijah being taken up in a whirlwind. You see, which was a chariot. All right, this is 2 Kings 2:11. It says, and it came to pass as they still went on. This is Elijah talking to Elisha, and talked that behold, there will appear a chariot of fire. You see, going back to the Lord making the clouds his chariots, a chariot of fire, which is what the so-called UFOs, people call them UFOs. All right, it says, and the horses of fire. You see, and they parted them asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. You see, so Elijah, he was taken up in the chariot. You see, and then it says, verse 12, 2 Kings 2:12, it says, and Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel. You see, the chariot of Israel, he maketh the clouds his chariots, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. He didn't see Elijah no more. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two. You see, so Elijah, he was taken up in a whirlwind. And here's another example. This is Yahushua, who people ignorantly call Jesus. He was taken up in a cloud. You see. All right, I'm gonna start at verse. This is Acts 1:9. It says, and when he had spoken to these things, he was talking to his disciples. While they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud or chariot received him out of their sights. You see. So the Lord, Yahushua, was taken up in a chariot, which, was known as a cloud. All right, I'm going to play this video. You see, the world is beginning to see more and more chariots. The chariots are making themselves known. Well, the Lord is making the chariots known every single day. You see, and Esau calls them a UAP, which means what? Unidentified aerial phenomena. That's because you'll never understand the ways of the Lord. He revealed his secret to his servants, the prophets, and to those who he will. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none shall understand. All right. Let's play this video.
What has become the most confusing story in the news these days, and here's why.
Start over.
And moving on now to what has become the most confusing story in the news these days, and here's
Start
why.
over again. All right, let me play it.
And moving on now to what has become the most confusing story in the news these days, and here's why. Because as compelling as this video I'm about to show you is, we just do not have straight answers on what we're seeing. Of course, we're talking UFOs again, or unidentified anomalous phenomenon, as the government calls it. And we just came across a very odd, very under-the-radar release of some videos and documents that I've been trying to get for years. Now, with no explanation, all of a sudden, Customs and Border Patrol has released 10 videos from what looks like forward-looking infrared cameras from different incidents, and an odd 380-some pages of reports, news clippings, and emails about people at CBP talking about UAPs. But there is a lot redacted, so it's hard to understand exactly what's going on. And some of it has to do with agents saying they've seen stuff and being scared of the whole stigma that comes with talking about UAPs. But the videos paint a more black and white picture, and at least one of them, this
All right, this is it. Let's let the ad play.
This one immediately caught my eye because it's the same video I saw leaked years ago that I filed a Freedom of Information request to get my hands on. Never heard back. But among the UFO community, it is very well known. It's called the Agua Dia video. And again, there's no context released from the CBP, so I just want to show it to you so you can be left with the same questions I've been trying to get answered. What we're seeing here is allegedly from Agua Dia, Puerto Rico. Back in 2013, a CBP aircraft spots this thing that you're seeing right there in the middle of your screen flying over the airport, tracks it for several minutes. They're trying to figure out what it is. They just don't know. They don't have an exact size, but they think it's smaller than a plane, and they follow it as you see it there going over some trees, going over a road, going over some fields. It's heading towards the ocean. Now, we're going to fast forward just a bit towards the ocean because that is when things get weird. Here you see it dip down into the ocean, doesn't seem to lose any speed, then continues on, then maybe it looks like, I don't know, it splits into two or something, or maybe something joins it before they try to track it, disappears, just gets lost in the water, and then they lose sight of it. And again, we haven't heard an official comment on what this is from CBP. There have been theories that this is everything from a pelican to a UFO that can somehow dip into the water without losing velocity, which is beyond anything we have. So what it is, we don't know, but it is weird, and you'd think someone would tell us what was going on since this happened back in 2013, and that's just one of 10 videos released. Some of them seem to show things like floating objects over the border that could be anything from hang gliders to balloons to drones, from cartels maybe, but again, all of this is coming after promises by lawmakers, by NASA, by the Pentagon that they are taking this seriously and could have answers soon, so fingers crossed. And I do want to bring in one very special person. This is a person who has led to this very odd time in our nation's UAP history. He's former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, Chris Mellon, who has been pushing the government to disclose more of what we know. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I want to ask straight up, this release from CBP, what do you make of these videos being made public now?
It's very interesting. I don't know why it's coming at this time, but it's very significant for a couple of reasons. This will help the public understand what our military personnel are encountering all over the world. We're getting on the Defense Department side 50 to 100 reports per month. And this is happening globally.
You see, because those are the chariots of the Lord, you see. They don't understand. You know, and then you have some that are hoaxed and whatnot, but, you know, but the chariots of the Lord, they are real. You see.
It's happening overseas. It's happening off the East Coast and the West Coast. And this will help people better understand why Congress takes the issue seriously, why it's a national security issue, some of the challenges we're facing monitoring and controlling our airspace in the wake of the Chinese balloons, and of course the explosion of drone use around the world. So I think it's very helpful, and kudos to Customs and Border Patrol.
So I've been watching these videos probably way too much today, and you know, some of them, the Agua Dia video still kind of baffles me, and yet some of the videos that we've seen, they look like they could be a hang glider, they look like they could be a balloon, but all of this is being released without like any context here. Do you think that that's one step forward or two steps back, or as you said, is it still progress in your eyes?
It's absolutely progress in my eyes. I hope that the Defense Department and intelligence community are paying attention. These videos were released. People are not freaking out. They're not overreacting. It's helping to educate the public. They have many videos that are of a similar unclassified nature, or were, until they, out of the blue, created this new classification guide that made everything automatically classified. I don't think that's lawful. I don't think that's consistent with the executive order governing classification, but they're withholding a lot of similar kinds of videos from the public on that basis.
All right, I'm gonna stop the video right here. But as you heard him, he said they're withholding a lot of videos on the chariots. You see, because they know the chariots are out there. They don't know that they're the Lord's chariots, but they know that something that's not normal is out there. All right, I'm going to play a part of this video right here, and then I'll end the lesson. Let's see.
It's time to retrieve all those files you thought.
This is an ad. Let's let the ad play. Skip it. Now, this is from 60 Minutes. I want to just capture the part where it shows a chariot. It says encounters with UFOs. Let's see, which one do I want? I'm just going to play this part. Let's see, I'm looking for a specific part in the video about a chariot. Let's see, which one is it? Well, it shows the chariot, then the chariot disappears. That's what I'm trying to find. Let's see, come on.
In 2017, as a private citizen, he surreptitiously acquired the 3 Navy videos Elizondo had declassified. Thing out there.
Pretty hard to spoof.
Pilots speculate they are one of 3 things: secret U.S. technology, an adversary spy vehicle, or something otherworldly.
I'd say, the highest probability is it's a threat observation program.
Could it be Russian or Chinese technology?
I don't see why not.
Video signals would take years.
Nothing you can do, right? Everything's already happened. That's the mind-bending part of this, right?
You are sweating now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right back there again. So, yeah.
Altitude about 300 meters.
To deliver a report on the mistake.
Oh,
earliest starlight in creation. There are 18 of these hexagonal mirrors, but when you fold them out, they all work in concert as one.
Of questions I want to answer.
Astrophysicist Natalie Battaglia also has time on Webb. She'll be looking at planets beyond our solar system.
On average.
Book investigation in 1969, but that compelling, and that's when it becomes when they updated their jet's radar,
I think, yeah, this is it right
making
here.
it possible to zero in with infrared targeting cameras. So you're seeing
Now this chariot is going to vanish. You see, watch this.
it both with the radar and with the infrared, and that tells you that there is something out there.
Pretty hard to spoof that.
These photographs were taken in 2019 in the state of 14, hovering Lieutenant Ryan Graves. You have exhausted all those what ifs, and you're still left. That's when it becomes Lieutenant Ryan Graves calls whatever is out there a security risk. He told us his F-18 squadron began seeing UAPs hovering over restricted airspace southeast of Virginia Beach in 2014 when they updated their jet's radar, making it possible to zero in with infrared targeting cameras. So you're seeing it both with the radar and with the infrared, and that tells you that there is. In 2019, objects on the Atlantic coast see things like that all the time.
Well, it doesn't. I guess they didn't show the part where the chariot disappears, but in another video, the same video that it showed, let's see, that video right there, it showed the chariot, it vanished. It said, pew, it just vanished out of nowhere. But I guess it doesn't show it in this video. But in another video, it shows the same footage of this same chariot right here. It vanished. I'll just have to find that another time. All right, I'm going to end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua B'Hashem Rika Hakwadash. Shalom.